Governor, you had said you were resisting this mask mandate. A, why were you resistant? And what made you change your mind?
Well, we've been focused on wearing masks since March, and we had about 65% of the state that had a municipal or county mask requirement, which we were very supportive of. And really, that's where the enforcement is. But you know what? At the end of the day, that leaves 35% of our state behind. What we found over the last few weeks is that the areas of our state, the 65% that had mask orders, had lower spread of the virus and about 15% greater mask wearing usage. So therefore, based on that information, we decided to take it statewide.
Not wearing a mask is now a crime. You said it would be considered trespassing. Are you confident that you have the authority to make that call, and do you plan to enforce it?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody is in a business without a mask, or naked, or without a shirt, if it requires a shirt for service, or without shoes, they are trespassing. That business owner can call local law enforcement and say, we have somebody who we asked to leave nicely. They're not leaving. They're trespassing a private establishment. And law enforcement responds seriously to those.
What are you going to do about other lawmakers, though? Since the announcement, we have seen several mayors, several lawmakers say they're not going to enforce it. They're not going to comply.
Well, even in the areas the areas that had mask orders in our state, the very fact that there was a mask order increased mask usage by about 15%. And those were generally not widely enforced in those areas. Very few, if any. Some jurisdictions had no tickets given whatsoever, but it still increased mask usage 15%. I'm fully expecting the state benefit to be similar, that people will simply wear masks because it is the law. And that also it raises awareness and speaks with moral clarity about the importance of wearing masks to save lives and save our economy.
What are business leaders there telling you? We know this week we saw some of the largest retailers in the country, Walmart and Kroger, now have a mask mandate for all of their shoppers. What are businesses in Colorado saying?
This helps them. We've gotten support from most of our major chambers of commerce. Because this adds the force of law to the policies they already have. It really makes it a lot more meaningful. It's hard for like a 19-year-old kid at a grocery store to go up to a patron and say, please put on a mask. This really gives those words, or whatever form that reminder takes, to wear a mask when they're indoors or shopping. It gives it the force of law in Colorado, and it really helps the small, medium, and large businesses that are trying to do the right thing for their employees and customers.
Let's talk schools. People obviously want their kids to go back to school, but they want them to do it safely. How are you working with Colorado schools to try to reopen in terms of resources, money, guidance?
We've had a pretty good experience with daycare and summer camps over summer. They've been fully open for the last couple months. That's a dry run. It's not at the same scale as school, and it's not the same number of kids as school, but it's been a good experience. So each district is working closely with the county health department in their area to develop a plan to successfully reopen schools. And some are going to virtual, some are mixed, some are in person. Really depends on the situation in each area. But the districts are taking this very seriously, as are the teachers, who also have a lot at stake in this.
Let's talk about you in Washington. The Republican governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan, he wrote an op-ed this week saying the administration abandoned him and his state when it comes to fighting coronavirus. Are you getting what you need from D.C.?
Of course not. Nobody is. It's not a partisan thing. There's showy announcements they make every now and then, but even what they often say they're going to send us either doesn't arrive, or in one case or two cases, we've gotten things we didn't request that we couldn't use, or were spoiled along the way because they weren't maintained at the proper temperature. So we have really learned to fend for ourselves. I know a number of other governors have. We're purchasing masks and equipment. We're purchasing tests from South Korea and importing them. Thus far, we've been able to meet the needs, but we really wish that we could do this in a more coordinated way as a nation.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.